Hello and welcome to today's video. Do you ever find yourself looking at your balance and thinking, did I really spend that much? Where did my money go? Well, I found this post on Reddit and we're going to talk about it. So let's have a look. So this guy writes, am I the a-hole for telling my stay-at-home wife that she needs to start making a detailed budget of expenses? So that's our title. Do you think he's an asshole?
No. I think budgeting like your expenses and your money wisely is a really good decision.
Yeah,
that is something that
I can speak from experience.
Yeah.
On that. Yeah.
I think majority of people, that's like something that they don't do. Right? That's why they get trapped in this, like, what do you call that, rat race?
The living day to day.
The rat race kind of thing, right? Yeah, the monthly salary kind of.
You just have to live and then you end it and you have to make sure you get paid. So
let's see.
This guy writes, my wife stays at home with our daughter and has taken over buying the household items from me because she says I spend too much money on them. For about a year, she has been buying the goods for the house and would spend a mysterious amount of money and then complain that she had no money left at the next month. It's not a small amount of money that she gets each month to pay for the expenses. And even with the cost rising, I can't imagine that she is spending all of it to where there is nothing left. So he talks about a mysterious amount of money.
Yeah.
Has that ever happened for you where you mysteriously lost money?
Like, because we're not just talking about like the money, like her personal money, right? We're talking about the family's money.
Yeah.
Right, so which is going to be like different, which will have a different impact and a different story as well, right? So you cannot really just spend it mysteriously, right?
Yeah, like there should be some way of it, right?
Right, like that's something that you shouldn't do. Anyways.
Food in the fridge, a new item in the house, there should be some trace.
Right, you need talismans.
So he goes on to say, a couple of months ago, we had an argument over why she has no money left at the end of a month and how things can be so expensive. The end of it was that she needs to start making a proper itemized budget for a couple of months so we can see where the money is going. I think that sounds reasonable.
Yeah, it is.
So he says, I didn't ask for anything crazy. Just go to Excel, your favorite app, pick one of the family budget templates and fill it in properly.
Okay. Which makes sense, that's true.
So, I didn't say anything crazy, just go to Excel, pick one of the family budget templates and fill it in properly and keep track of expenses. She got indignant about the idea that she would have to make a budget. Then send me a picture from her notepad on her phone with random spans of numbers put in for things like food, utilities, etc. And since then, she has refused to even entertain the idea of making a budget. So, first I noticed she chose to do something the wrong way, and then complained it was harder, right? She gave him random numbers and went, see, and he went, what is it? She went, I don't know.
Yeah, I had this experience with my ex as well. Yeah.
So he goes on, while I don't have an issue with buying all the daily necessities, nor do I have an issue with her buying them, my issue is with the missing money. She gets the equivalent of almost $2,000 a month for expenses, but can only account for about $800 to $1,000. The above argument came from her saying I spend too much on my lunch and snacks, but she can't account for so much money. So she is blaming him for his spending at lunch and snacks and stuff, but then she's missing maybe $1,200.
Right. But he's not really trying to start a fight, right? He's just literally asking her to like just list down everything so we know where the money is going, and then we can like figure things out, right? I mean, this what happens when someone can't really justify where she or where that individual spent the money, right?
When they don't,
regardless,
they don't have the mindset.
right? Regardless if it's a woman or a man, right? It's like we're just being.
Yeah, if they don't have the mindset to think like, okay, I have this money, what do I need to buy? And they go, oh, this is okay, this is okay, this is okay. Then they don't know what they necessarily spend.
Yeah.
So he goes on to say, am I the a-hole for wanting my wife to make a budget because I don't know where $1,000 a month is being spent or what she's doing with it? I feel I'm not the a-hole here because the amount of money missing each month is just too much. And keeping a simple spreadsheet for someone who used to work in a trading company should be easy. So before we go on to the edits that he added, what do you think of what he says so far? Is it reasonable? Do you think he's in the wrong, she's in the wrong?
Well, first of all, like again, like he didn't start a fight. That's first, right? He didn't really try to blame anyone. He just said like, hey, let's try to list everything down and see where the money is going, right? So that's first. Second, he's the one making the money, right? Second, he's the one making the money. Regardless whoever is making the money, then I think he has more right to know where the money is going, right? You know,
if some considerable amount like that is missing, like
right,
if it was 100, then maybe
right, then of course
so,
not, right? I mean, if it's part of the budget, right? I mean, and then for third, that's the thing about partnership or let's say a family, right? That's a family. Like you, regardless if it's a woman or a man, like you let the person handle the money if he knows how to budget the money. You cannot just like, hey, I mean, you're a woman, you should like have the money and budget it or like whatever, right? It's like, that's like saying like, hey, you're the woman, you should cook for us. But if she doesn't know how to cook, then, right? Same thing with men. You cannot just because they're men doesn't mean they know how to work or they know how to do business or anything, right?
Yeah, like with his last line though, he says she used to work in a trading company. So in theory, she should know how to handle money, right? If she did trading profession.
I'll be honest.
In theory.
Yeah, but I'll be honest with you. Depends on which position, right? Like, it depends on what you're doing in the trading company, right? But like again, he used the trading company to as an argument to say that like what was the sentence? So
simple spreadsheet.
Just too much on keeping a simple spreadsheet for someone who used to work in a trading company should be easy. Well, to be honest, you don't really need to work in a trading company to
do a simple spreadsheet. Right? Expenditure, income, difference.
Yeah. Like regardless, even if you're not using a spreadsheet, like you can just budget your money, man. Like I use paper to budget my money. I write it all down, man.
There are apps nowadays. So, edit one.
But for real, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Multiple.
But she did try that, you know. She wrote water and then a random number.
It's just weird, man. Like that's $1,000. That's not small. It's not small.
He adds a couple of edits. The first one, he talks about some background to his time on Reddit, and then he goes on to say that we don't live in the US. We're in a big country that loves the color red. In this country, you can't have joint accounts, and sales slips are basically a thing of the past. No one takes them. Therefore, checking the receipts or bank statements is not possible unless they would share them. Everything is paid via mobile payments, and you need biometric access into those apps. So, surely that would make it easier if they're doing all their payments via an online pay thing. You have a record of all your transactions on every app. Yeah? Like if I go on to my Apple Pay, I can see what I've paid on Apple.
You were gonna say something.
No, I wasn't.
I was waiting for you to say that. So yeah.
But he says this is causing trouble to track the payments, which I guess if you don't have a joint account, you can't see what's been spent. But if she's just spending money anyway, she's not going to know what was spent anyway, right?
Right. But like for the receipt and like for the where the money is going or where the money goes, they can check it online, man. If they're using an online app or an app to do the transactions, then they can actually track it, right?
It should all be there.
I mean, if you're that, I don't know.
And then she's going to delete.
I mean,
delete,
or
delete,
rather,
delete.
you will really check it one by one, because
Yeah.
like per transaction is like one kind of like box, right?
Yeah, like $20, $10, $3, $20. It will all be listed, I'm sure. Then he goes on to say, due to his above situation that he mentioned, the income is only around $3,800 to $4,300 a month in US dollars. For them, $1,000 is a lot, especially if it isn't tangible things, so they don't know where it is, you know? Then he just goes on to say about how they're trying to save for the future. They want to try and put a college fund together for their kids, about 25% of their savings. They want to repatriate to their home country, which they're also saving for. He doesn't give an amount on that. They share some money to both of their parents, which is 10% each. And the remaining goes into 3 savings accounts for future bills, emergency funds, things like this. So basically they have about 50% of their salary anyway, if we round everything up, yeah? So they have about 50% of their salary, and then 50% of that.
Wait, so
missing.
both of them are working?
He doesn't say if she's working. He said she's a stay-at-home mom, so I guess she's not working right now, but she may have been working just before or thinking about going back later, yeah. But if 50% of that is being saved and 50% is being spent, but 50% of the being spent money can't be found, that's a lot, right?
That is a lot, yeah.
So, he goes on to say she's not doing drugs, so I'm guessing there were some comments about drugs from some people.
It is funny, so I was like, alright.
He says they're not hard to get here, but
yeah, that's not
clearly
going to be a
doing
factor.
it.
It's going to be because it's something that is super hard to find in that country, right? Yeah.
And she could be stashing some money for an escape fund, but he says he doesn't really care if she's doing that. So he also like did the similar thing himself. So it's kind of fine if she does it, but just she's not saying she's doing it, I think is the main problem there. And he just asks people not to insult her, not to insult the situation.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about this whole thing? Is he the a-hole first? That's the main thing on this.
He's not.
100% no?
He's not. But like like if we're just gonna base everything from the
from what he
everything
said,
that he just said, right? He stated, then he's not.
Yeah, I agree. Technically, his money is missing.
Yeah,
they choose to live together and communicate
they
money.
basically have a family, so
yeah.
It's basically a family. So that money goes to the family, right? So it's a family's money. But then he's literally just asking to budget everything and list down everything, just to make sure that like every single what do you call this part of that money goes to that respective places, right?
Yeah, I think it's very telling that they're like only spending 50% of their money anyway. They're trying to save almost 50%, and then he's only asking for like just keep a record of this 25% that no one knows where it is. So definitely not the a-hole. And if she's fighting back against it, she's pretty much the a-hole in the situation.
Yeah, especially if she cannot really justify where she spent the money.
It seems like a lot of hair and nails, maybe.
Right, it's $1,000, man. 1,000 USD.
So a lot of people are questioning about the 2000, and I guess that relates to the edit that he added to it. And overall, Reddit deemed him not the a-hole. They all agree that for asking this simple request, it's not
but he's the one who wrote the story.
Well, yeah, we do only have his side of it.
Right.
Maybe we can find her post later. My husband asked me to do a budget.
Right, but he threatened me with
all I'm trying to do is stash this money.
Right.
So thank you for joining us today, and be sure to like and subscribe below and drop us a comment.